Good evening and welcome to the Newshour Agenda. I'm Madhavdas G wishing all our viewers a very happy Vijayadashmi. Viewers, India's leader of opposition is on a South America tour and his comments in Colombia have stoked a fresh controversy. Leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi has once again revived his democracy under attack narrative. Speaking on foreign soil, Rahul Gandhi claimed that India's democracy is under attack and this is the single biggest risk to the country. Further, he even says that he doesn't see the possibility of India leading the world. His comments have armed the BJP, who claim that his comments amount to berating India and hurting its image on foreign soil. Here's the comments that have now sparked off a bitter political war of words. Now, these statements have sparked off a massive slanging match. The BJP today is saying that the Congress leader has consistently denigrated the nation's image on foreign soil. Further, at a time when the Prime Minister's hard-selling brand India on the world stage and is promoting the nation as Vishwaguru, BJP says the Congress leader is committed to only bringing down India in the global world order. Sample this.
देखिए, उनका ये एक आदत हो गई है कि विदेश में जाकर के देश की जो संवैधानिक संस्थाएं हैं उनको बदनाम करना। ये देश के नागरिक कतई पसंद नहीं करते हैं, लेकिन उनकी आदत हो गई है जिसकी हम घोर निंदा करते हैं।
Don't take what that man says seriously. I seriously doubt both the motivation and his understanding. At a time when the previous quarter were 9.4%, he is calling it a dead economy. So I don't know why he is in Colombia, what was the motivation, but I just feel disappointed and sad.
देखिए, he is a disgrace. ये जानते हैं सब कि वो देश को हर जगह बदनाम करने का, देश की निंदा करने के लिए, देश की आलोचना, मैं ये सरकार की नहीं कह रही, देश की निंदा। अगर वो कह रहे हैं कि लोग यहाँ पे झगड़ालू हैं, वो जो है देश को शर्मिंदा करते हैं हमेशा, और देश भी उनसे शर्मिंदा है।
Again, Rahul Gandhi has done what he does best, that is to go abroad and behave like LoP, not leader of opposition but leader of propaganda. Anyways, he has said he wants to fight Indian state. Now he goes abroad and says democratic structure is being completely attacked. Who is attacking this? It is the Parivarik structure.
Let's also remember, viewers, this isn't the first time that Rahul has made such comments on foreign soil. In Washington, D.C. last year, Rahul Gandhi said that Indian democracy has been under attack for the last 10 years. This is a statement that he has repeated in many of his speeches on foreign soil. He even accused the government of spying on opposition leaders, but by choosing a foreign platform to make such comments, is the leader of opposition maligning India's image to target the Modi government.
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Let's take this across to our guest. Joining us is R.P. Singh, BJP's national spokesperson. With us also is Shubhrastha, author and founder of The Churn. With us is Ashutosh Mishra, senior journalist. Vivek Silas is SP's national spokesperson. We have Dr. Akashdeep Puni, political analyst, also joining us. Ashutosh Mishra, the question that is coming from the side of the BJP is that why is it that when Rahul Gandhi goes abroad, he has to talk about the democratic model coming undone. Some point of time he says that Europe and US are not taking note of it. Once again, he has made similar comments while in Colombia. The point is that domestic politics should ideally be for domestic consumption. Why does Rahul Gandhi have to go outside the country and talk about that? Because the charge very clearly is that he's trying to bring down the image of the country.
I beg to differ, because Rahul Gandhi has been talking about democracy being in danger in India for quite some time now. And even if he's on a foreign soil and speaking to students and some university, and there are some questions asked, he's honest enough to say that democracy is in danger in India. And the best example is how Sonam Wangchuk has been dealt with. Just because he protested against the government, today he is in jail for charges which may or may not be proved. And his only sin was, Sonam Wangchuk's only sin was that he wanted democracy to prevail in Ladakh. That's all that was there. What is democracy? Democracy is that the voice of people be heard. And Modi government has over its reign shown that it is deaf to what the people really want. it has got only one agenda, that all is well, and if you don't agree with it, you are in trouble.
Sir, let me ask you a simple question. You are saying, what is democracy? I will ask you a question. In the last Lok Sabha election, the ruling party's alliance came down, or its numbers came down from 303 to over 240. Would this happen in a sham democracy?
The question here is, again, what have been the charges against the Modi government? If you see, in 2019, there was, after 2019 Lok Sabha elections, there was a study by a Ashoka University professor which showed how the elections were manipulated, and the same charge that now Rahul Gandhi speaks about, vote chori. So it's not that the democracy has been totally killed. It's like a slow poison. It's being slow poisoned, and that is what he's speaking against.
Sir, how many seats did you get in the last election? How many seats did the opposition get in the last election?
I didn't find the election, so I don't know why.
No, you don't know.
This question.
You're well aware of what has happened to the ruling party's seats, but you don't know how many seats the opposition got.
So,
how much did the Congress party get? Tell us that.
Has 99 plus 201 seats. The question
so what was the process then? Was that not a democratic process?
This model has been rejected.
Sir, was that not a democratic process? Simple question. If it was not a democratic process, how did your numbers increase from the previous Lok Sabha election?
And I have already answered that. It's slow poisoning. It has not been killed yet, but
it is slow poisoning.
Through vote chori and manipulation of elections.
Vote chori is an allegation. It has not been conclusively proved yet. Ashutosh, even you will agree that in the past, UPA governments have been elected under similar voting system with similar flaws, where similar SIRs had not been done. Therefore, the vote chori charge is certainly a very serious allegation, but there's no conclusive evidence yet. Nevertheless, I'm going to bring in RP Singh on that. RP Singh,
the jury is still out, I agree.
RP Singh, it's a slow poisoning of democracy. That's what Rahul Gandhi is referring to. It's a slow poisoning being done by the BJP or the ruling government. Your response to Ashutosh?
Well, he has been using the foreign land since 2000 to abuse India or to abuse the constitutional bodies here since 2018. Remember in London he said that, India is a very intolerant country. And in Germany, he said, minorities are under threat in 2022. In 2023, in USA, again he reiterated the same thing, that India is an intolerant country. And then in 2023 in UK, he said, democracy is under threat. That time it was not vote chori. That time it was EVM. And then after his speech in UK, they won in Telangana and Karnataka and Jharkhand. So he can keep doing it, but the only issue is that why should an Indian leader use the foreign land to dent the Indians' image? And then when it is being misused, or later on, I also said that it can be twisted. It is being twisted by certain foreign powers for their objectives, for their malicious objective. And then putting the India's image at stake. I mean, remember he said in US to a 6th child that you are not allowed to wear turban and you are not allowed to wear kada. He's facing the court now in India, Mr. Rahul Gandhi. So that's how he is. I mean, he is not able to, or the UPA is not able to defeat Prime Minister Modi through ballots. That's why go and use the foreign land to gather some sort of sympathy or to gather some sort of support. And I'm accusing that he is getting certain support from certain elements from foreign land also.
Is that a fact? Is that a fact, Akashdeep Muni, that it is support from the foreign lands that he is receiving? Why Mr. Rahul Gandhi is making such a comment? Because he has said so in the past. He has said so that Europe and US are not concerned that a huge chunk of the democratic model is coming undone here in India. Why should they be concerned? Can't we take care of our own democracy?
Of course, Madhavji, happy Vijayadashmi to you and all my fellow panelists. Now, Madhavji, in the last 11 years of Modi government, Rahulji rightly said that diversity of ideas, languages and religions is under attack by Bharatiya Janata Party. Remember, the CAA created a fast-track Part 2 citizenship for non-Muslim minorities from neighboring countries, but explicitly excludes Muslims. And arrest of Elga Parishad Bhima Koregaon investigation. Remember, even the arrest and subsequent death in custody of tribal right activist Father Stan Swamy is an example of intolerance. In 2020, journalist Siddiq Kapan was arrested under sedition charges while en route to report a Hathras gang rape case in Uttar Pradesh, a BJP ruled state. He was held there over 2 years without trial. Was it okay then? Activist Disha Ravi, a climate campaigner, was arrested in 2021 by sharing a protest on social media, charged with sedition. In 2019, 22 Kashmiris were charged with sedition for watching a Pakistani cricket match.
If you go to one second. Let's be very clear. We are discussing very specifically the democratic model or democracy being undone. Certainly, some of them are very high-profile cases which you mentioned, but there are equal number of such high-profile cases that have happened in opposition-ruled states. Let's stick to the subject at hand and the questions that he has raised as far as democracy is concerned. Akashdeep Puni.
No, of course, diversity of language, diversity of religion is a part of democracy. And remember, democracy was upheld.
Which language has been suppressed? Which language has been suppressed?
I'll tell you. Remember in 2014, shortly after assuming office, Modi ji mandated Hindi for all official social media communications, prompting backlash from southern states where only 5 to 10% Hindi people speak fluently. Don't you think that it is against
there was no official diktat or mandate to my effect, to my knowledge at least. But let me bring in Shubhrastha. Shubhrastha, democracy includes freedom of language, freedom of religion, and these are freedoms that are being curbed. That is Akashdeep Muni's interpretation of Rahul Gandhi's comments. Please respond.
Look, Madhav, this habit of running to foreign universities, diasporic gatherings, Western intellectual circuits to lament India is not an act of global statesmanship. Let's put this on record. This is a substitute for domestic hard work. Leaders who cannot build credibility on their own soil seek validation abroad, and this is exactly what Rahul Gandhi has been doing time and again over the past few years. Rahul Gandhi's tours may win accolades from sympathetic academics and journalists and analysts like Akashdeep Muni, but they deepen his alienation with the Indian voter, who sees this gesture as not just lack of rootedness but even disregard for national pride. Let us also understand that the locale in which he sort of made these comments. He is in Colombia. Colombia itself is going through a challenging time for quite some time now. But India is not Colombia, and Colombia cannot be India. We have had a long history of, peaceful transfers of power, with Rahul Gandhi actually being one of the beneficiaries of that power transfer. The problem is not the poor comparative politics. It is the political psychology at work. Rahul Gandhi increasingly chooses foreign stages to prefer as his preferred arenas of critique. And this signals a failure in the confidence in his own, not just in his own speeches, but also in the constituents that he represents. Perhaps he doesn't have the trust, which is why have you seen Rahul Gandhi do these university tours in India? Have you seen him actually do it in, say, Delhi University or JNU or which are considered intellectual caucuses, and which people like Akashdeep Muni would come and say that Modi government has really attacked these institutions? Where is Rahul Gandhi in all of these places? Look, it is important also to understand that the question of Hindi and language was really brought in. Please understand that I come from Bihar, where George Fernandez not just won an election once but twice, represented India at such a scale. He was from Bangalore. He migrated to Bihar, spoke not just regional languages but also Hindi. He never made a brouhaha about Hindi being the national language or whatever. Let us understand the kind of political pygmies we have today. If they want to internationalize conversations and make it about global statesmanship and etc., it is not going to happen. Rahul Gandhi is not Nehru. He is not Indira Gandhi. He shouldn't even fool himself into believing that. Incidentally, Madhav, let me tell you, I'm also in Bogota for a different conference altogether. But I'm very sure that despite all the follies of Rahul Gandhi, I'm not going to lambast the Indian National Congress or the Aam Aadmi Party or whosoever is sitting on the panel here, whatever political ideologies they represent. I'm representing India as a nation. I'm here to talk about the security that we all have in the democratic ideals and how we can globally benefit from each other's experiences.
Okay, and judging by what you've just said, if you accidentally bump into Rahul Gandhi, we all know very well what you might say to him. But let's go across to Vivek Silas. Vivek Silas, the point that one is unable to understand, Vivek Silas, is this. It's the same democratic system that we've had. Of course, no democracy is perfect. There will obviously be always issues which the opposition will raise, which the treasury benches will have to answer to. But the point over here is this, that there have been state after state where various opposition parties, the Congress party itself is in power in at least 3 states across the country. There are different regional parties of the opposition who are in alliance with the India Alliance who are ruling, whether it's Tamil Nadu, whether it's Kerala, whether it's West Bengal, and even in your own state of Uttar Pradesh, look at the kind of results that the Lok Sabha threw up. How would you win, for instance, in Ayodhya and Faizabad if there was no democracy? I am unable to understand this.
First of all, happy Dashara to all the panelists and the viewers. I think that the democracy is definitely, been brutally dented. If you see, there was a time, if you see in 80s, 90s, and even till early 2000s, people used to regard and respect the Election Commission more than the Supreme Court. They blindly respected and regarded. But today, if we see the data, I'm not talking as a, as a spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. If you see the data, 27% of the people don't have trust in the Election Commission. There has to be a reason behind that, na? People are talking about the role of the CBI and the ED, how they are misused by this central government. It's not. It's in the public domain. It's not only with the political parties. If you see the conditions of the farmers, the students, the laborers, it's questionable what the central government is doing about that. Governments are being overturned. We are all seeing it's a digital world. And if you see, according to the BJP, the people who are scammers, who are frauds, who have looted the country, suddenly they come into the Bharatiya Janata Party, they become the chief ministers, deputy chief minister, and even cabinet minister in the central government.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. There is the simple question though that at the end of the day, when you're talking about democracy, you're talking about the electoral system. And to that extent, yes, there are questions that, I will put forward as far as he is concerned, as far as, Mr. R.P. Singh is concerned, but there are similar questions that they have said, that as far as democracy is concerned, I think Shubhrastha wants to respond to you very quickly. Shubhrastha, then I go across to R.P. Singh.
Look, Madhav, I agree with whatever was said. I mean, BJP is no saint in this. Sharpened critique should happen of the government and of people who are running the show in the BJP. My question is simply this. As politicians, when you go inside the parliament, you're supposed to frame rules. Why don't you frame rules like no corrupt leader who has proven charges of corruption will ever be able to contest elections in the country? Why don't you have frames which are really stringent and which really match the values and ideals that you're talking about? Because if you do not, then somebody who has a certain constituency in the Indian National Congress, if it is not, BJP is going to appropriate the person and make them minister, chief minister, MLAs, MPs, and that would also not really account to an unhealthy democracy, because the rulers, the framers of laws have not really criminalized it. So the problem really is not with the BJP per se. It's the problem with the electoral setup, which just does not want to change. You and I know the salaries that the MPs and MLAs draw. Do you really think it is prudent and practical to expect an MP to take care of his entire constituency, their railway tickets, etc., sitting in Delhi? They do not. So where do they raise money? They raise money from corporates. Corporate lobbying is not legal in India. We don't even have a conversation on it, as if it's an anathema to talk about it. So it is very good to talk about these conversations.
It's good to talk about corporates because, one of the points that Rahul Gandhi has made, he says that in India we have huge amounts of corruption now at a very, very centralized level. That's why he says, in my view, at least in our experience, decentralization of power is an effective tool. Just 3 or 4 big businesses are basically taking over whole economy with a direct relationship with the Prime Minister. So corruption is rampant in India, and at the same time, somewhere, Ashutosh Mishra, he forgets to add that perhaps all the Congress state governments are doing business with the same groups, which he is making allegations on, of being close to the Prime Minister. That he has not referred to.
So what you are confusing people here with is that in one case, when it comes to, you are talking about the Modani.
What is the confusing? What is confusing in this?
Yeah, I am explaining it.
Mr. Ashok Gehlot, Mr. Revant Reddy, none of them have done business with the Ambanis or Adanis.
If you let me explain it, then I will be able to explain it. What is the difference? The difference is that when Narendra Modi changes policies to suit a certain group, and when the banks give only that particular...
Which are these policies? Please tell us, which are these policies?
We all know that. Whether it
we don't know that. Tell us.
I'll just give you
justify your comments, sir.
Give you the latest example.
Give us the example.
I will just give you one example that there was a ban on Chinese technicians coming to India. But one particular group was doing business in solar panels, and they wanted Chinese to be allowed, and special visas were given. So these are the sort of favoritism that happens. This is the latest incident.
So
and
why
this is
do
something that
business
even,
with such a group then? Tell us.
That even
Then Ashutosh Mishra, why do business with such a group?
Today even...
No, I'm asking you a simple question. If this group is so bad, if they have so much of influence over the central government, why are you doing business with that group?
Because when it comes to offering the best deal, if they are offering you a best deal,
so it's not about principles. It's about cutting deals. That's the problem. That's the problem. That is exactly the problem. RP Singh, your central government is providing deals to several big corporates, but there is no other option but to cut deals with them for the Congress governments in the state. Your response to Ashutosh Mishra?
Well, I'll answer that also, but let me first tell you about the sedition cases were filed against 75,000 people from one village in Tamil Nadu during the UPA regime. That was, I remember, 2012, and almost there are 620 cases which were filed against various people in 10 years of UPA, and last 5 years there are 286 cases which were filed against the people as far as sedition goes. So that's the track record they have as far as democracy or as far as freedom of press goes. But coming to the issue of Ashutosh, when Revanthi Reddy gives a red carpet welcome, or Mr. Ashok Gehlot gives a red carpet welcome, or Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan gives a red carpet welcome, Mamata Banerjee gives a red carpet welcome to all these, why do you do so? I mean, you can simply say, no, we will not do that. Well, obviously, you also change a lot of policies to welcome the industries in your states. So, issue is that it is what is good for country, and then you have courts to go. You have done your best to go to the court, and you just now, someone was saying, talking about that deputy CM and CM, the ministers are from, who are corrupt. I give a challenge, whoever he was, since I couldn't see that person, but I give a challenge, let him go to court, I'll pay for the fee for any best of the lawyers to move to the court, and then if you win, the money is from my side. If you lose, you pay the double. I want to bring it's very simply to accuse without.
I want to just bring in the last point, that because we have limited time, I'm sorry I'm interrupting you, RP Singh. And this is one of the perspectives that I'm not able to very clearly understand. What exactly is Rahul Gandhi trying to say over here? Vivek Silas, he says, look, I don't know about China. I don't think India sees itself as taking leadership in the world. That's not our model. We're a large country. We believe in partnerships. We are not sorry, but we are not arrogant enough to believe that we should lead the world. Every country has its own perspective. Every region has its own perspective. There's a lot of scope for working together for partnerships. But the idea that India is going to lead the world, I don't think that's how India views itself. Now, this is directly contrasting with the government talks about Vishwaguru and the concept of India being the at least thought leader of the world. What's wrong in saying that India perhaps could lead the world one day? We are the most populous nation. We are the fourth largest and soon to become the third largest economy. Why would you say something like this?
You know, this depends on the foreign policy. And if you see the, the speech of Sanchalak Mohan Bhagwat ji today, what he said, he questioned the foreign policy of India. He questioned the Modi government himself today itself. Few hours back, he said, after the Pahalgam attack, we came to know who all are with us and who are not. He questioned, because after the Pahalgam attack, most of the countries were either neutral or they were not besides India. They were not.
You got to know it, true friends. Is that necessarily questioning the central government, or is it a comment on the rest of the world?
If you say the policy, we were talking about the policies of the Congress governments and the Bharatiya Janata government regarding the corporates. Has any government given 1,020 acres of land to Adani for ₹1? Only the Bharatiya Janata Party can do that.
Two questions there. One, has Mr. Mohan Bhagwat really criticized the central government or questioned its foreign policy? And the second question that he is asking about doing favors for corporates. Shubhrastha.
Yes, Madhav, look, my problem with Rahul Gandhi's rhetoric abroad has increasingly, sharpened because of the fact that he has genuine, deep disgust for Indian aspirations. Look, you may have a problem with the Vishwaguru concept. You can come and, academically debate it, write a scholarly write-up, appeal to the universities here in India, have, press conferences and hold conversations with youngsters, come up with a white paper or black paper or whatever paper you want and say that this is the position of the Indian National Congress on that. But to go on a foreign soil and say Indians do not view themselves like that, I mean, who are you? You are an MP from one constituency in Kerala.
Right.
Do not assume that that you are the voice of and by the way, you are chosen as a leader of opposition. You're not the government. So to confuse India's foreign policy like this on a foreign soil by delving into these rhetorical...
Well, this is certainly not the end of this debate. This is going to be a political controversy. We can very well judge for the next several days, but we'll have to leave it there for the moment. R.P. Singh, Shubhrastha, Ashutosh Mishra, Vivek Silas, Dr. Akash Tipuni, thanks so much for joining us this evening.